Downtown with my baby on a Saturday night. Push start the car, but the feeling was right. Yeah.
As we look back fondly on the music this year, we should be truly grateful for the number of fantastic releases we have been given. From new stars rising, veterans keeping it tight, and everything in between, this year has gone by so fast, but not too fast to capture all the bright spots of musical greatness. Today's video is going to encapsulate what I believe to be the best of what's come and gone from 2022. And with that being said, let's get into the first category. These artists are some of the many to be on the lookout for in the coming years. Whether they bring a new energy, a new sound, or they bring back an old style, these artists should be on everyone's radar. The following honorable mentions are Tala, a chaotic twist on the new metal genre with relentless fervor. Vended, when children of Slipknot members get involved, you know something is going to be amazing there. And Magnolia Park, a nice solid take on the pop punk trend of the 2020s. But none of these acts come close and measure up to the winner, Bloodywood. Bloodywood, combining cultural Indian instrumentation and sounds added into a nice heavy metal, rap metal sound with lyrics delivering messages both political and personal. Their 2022 album Rakshak was a phenomenal statement to the music world. Congrats boys, and I hope to see you more in the coming years. Nice job. The winner of the Newcomer Award, Bloodywood. You can't keep these old dogs down. Music runs deep in their blood, and they want to still make their presence felt and known to the modern generation who had never heard of or were aware of their existence. That or the money, but either way, there they go. Key honorable mentions are ABBA, the Swedish pop disco quartet with a solid output that shows they had some gas left in the tank. Megadeth, one of the big four to put out a record in this decade, but was incomplete, but a very solid outing from the classic thrash metalers. But this award couldn't have gone to anyone else but the man himself, Ozzy Osbourne. The man who has quite literally cheated death so many times, it's worthy alone to give him this award. But to focus on the music, his 2022 album was very nice to hear. All the featured guitarists from the ones he's worked with, like Tony Iommi, do incredible jobs as well. If this is the last outing from the British legend, then it wasn't a bad swan song. Great job, Ozzy. Live long. Time to be a bit of a downer, but not all that shines brightest is gold. There were plenty of duds here, and I mean plenty of duds, especially from artists that I usually have support for. This could be an album, an EP, or even just one single. These releases just make me question the direction of the artist. And without further ado, let's name some of the honorable mentions, or in this case, dishonorable mentions. In This Moment's Blood 1983 EP. Some reworkings of songs from their 2012 Blood album came to some very awful results. It's hard to get enjoyment from a band who's been disappointing for the last few years. Their previous album was one of my least favorites, or the most disappointing of the year it came out. Architects, Symptoms of a Broken Spirit, the first truly not good record from this band, in my personal opinion, and it just left me feeling nothing, or just wanting them to be more. Too much generic sounds and a complete shift. But speaking of generic and complete shift, nothing was more disappointing than Parkway Drive's Darker Still. From the cringy lyrics to the generic instrumentations and to the complete loss of the sound of a band that was once one of the biggest names and one of the most well-loved faces of metalcore, all cradled into one meandering slum of an album. And it just was not doing it for me. Sorry guys. With my channel being primarily focused on rock and metal releases, I thought I'd give you some of my favorites that fall outside of that umbrella. This could be rap, EDM, pop, country, whatever, anything goes. But some honorable mentions here are Melt My Eyes, See My Future by Denzel Curry. Definitely another solid outing from one of my personal favorite rappers. Helix by Snails, a really nice take on the dubstep sound with some really good sound design and bass warbles, and some really great vocal features as well. Feral Fantasy by Must Die, a great piece of hardstyle and dubstep that works wonders, but the big winner has to go to The Forever Story by JID or JID. From amazing lyrics and flow, great production, and solid sample selection, and just being an overall fantastic record, JID has got probably the best rap record, and I'm completely disappointed in the fact that it didn't even get anywhere close to being nominated for Best Rap Album at the Grammys. But that's a whole conversation for a whole different day. But Forever Story by JID, best non-rock metal album of the year. Sometimes the best music you really enjoy or listen to doesn't come from a local band playing a small show down the street. Sometimes it comes across the ocean in other countries from around the world, countries you wouldn't expect and ones that you would. Just to note, this is going to exclude a lot of European countries and Australia and New Zealand, because I feel like that's going to make it there's going to be so many from there that I can pick from. I wanted to give the non-Western countries a bit of a chance here and talk about more of those. But without further ado, the honorable mentions here are Voisa Bachaprot. I might be butchering that name, I'm still learning, they're still new. Indonesian all-girl rock trio with immense talent and some great rebellious lyrics. No wonder they got some more attention covering a Rage Against the Machine song live, but they have some really good songs. Definitely check them out. And then Baby Metal, the once cutesy kawaii metal band gimmick is long gone, but the passion for the music still lives on. Releasing a couple banger songs off of an upcoming 2023 album, this Japanese band thrives on. But the ultimate best band from another country has to go to Indian band Bloodywood. Already talked about them in the Newcomer Award, but they are already proving to be a force in the new wave of metal, playing top festivals like Wacken Open Air, a really top German metal festival that happens every year. Proud of these guys, great stuff. These artists took a long gap to give us these amazing albums. Whether it's been putting effort into their craft or labels pushing back dates, these releases were definitely worth the wait. So many honorable mentions, but they had to go to Otherness by Alexis on Fire, a very different sound for the Canadian band, but definitely worth checking out. The Sick, the Dying, and the Dead by Megadeth, a very solid outing from the longtime thrash metallers, although the vocals could have used some work, but hey, I think it's good. But the comeback album of the year has to go to Disparity by Ocean's 8 Alaska, a short but sweet outing from the Australian metalcore band, and the first 10 out of 10 on the channel. Nice breakdowns, nice gent style riffs, and some cool cleans when they do appear. Amazing. Comeback album of the year, let's go. An album's hype wouldn't exist as much if it weren't for the teasers we get from the albums in the form of singles. These songs generated so much anticipation for the albums they reside on, or just as a standalone single themselves. The honorable mentions have to be Dancing with the Dead by Crown the Empire, Soul Revolution by Fire from the Gods, Crosses by Sleeping with Sirens featuring Spencer Chamberlain, but the single of the year has to go to Slaughterhouse by Motionless in White featuring Brian Garris. A heavy slamming track from beginning to end, an amazing feature from Knocked Loose vocalist Brian Garris. Off of their 2022 album Scoring the End of the World, it drove so much hype and made the album a high seller. Great tune. And reaction channels blew up even more because of that single. People loved it, and I wholeheartedly agree. Nice job. The moment you've really been waiting for, these records surpassed all expectations and cemented themselves into my collective memory, never to leave. These albums have proved staying power and will continue to only benefit the artists' careers. This one has 5 honorable mentions and then the winner. They are as follows. The Death of Peace of Mind by Bad Omens, an amazing album with plenty of different sounds and styles and some masterful production. Disparity by Ocean's 8 Alaska, a genty masterpiece from the land down under. Speaking of the land down under, Trinity by The Gloom in the Corner, a concept album that doesn't let up from the get-go. A eulogy for those still here by Counterparts, an emotional and energetic blast of hardcore that's sure to drive some tears. And then Techno by Electric Callboy, a fun blast of electronic metalcore without a tons of seriousness. But the definitive album of the year to me has to be Color Decay by The Devil Wears Prada. There's not one album I've listened to that was as perfect as this one, with amazing emotional lyrics, great production, improved clean vocals, and some amazing musicianship. It all culminates in what I deem as the best that this year has to offer. Lots of tunes from this record I still jam to this day, and I think I will for years on end. A fantastic album, and I can't wait for any of these bands to put out more in the coming years. Well, thanks everyone for tuning into my Best of 2022 video. I won't have much to put out in the coming weeks, as there's not too many big albums to talk about or any major, hopefully maybe some singles. I might put some single reviews out in the coming weeks, because we'll have some albums to talk to. I might do a most anticipated album list for 2023, but until then, this is going to be probably my last video of the year. But enjoy your holidays, enjoy the new year, whatever you do, be a good person, jam your favorite playlist, and just have fun. Thanks. Peace out.